Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Pro Flight Paddle 3 at Aronimink Golf Club in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. I'm JC Cotto, Director of Rackets at Aronimink Golf Club. I'm here with Dave Bissell from Picket Post Swim and Tennis Club and Anton Pratsenko, top 10 player in the country, but number one in our hearts. We have an awesome afternoon of paddle here. I want to thank all our sponsors, D2 Groups, Cooper Frederick Properties, La Cabra Brewing, Powers Brand Communications, Neil Blazenka, Oral Surgeon, Andrew Hawker, the Racket Realtor, and Baby Blues Barbecue in Philadelphia. We have our first match of the afternoon between Scott Kaler and Drew Broderick and Tomas Christian and Dan Hansen. Dan Hansen's out of Mystic, Connecticut. Tomas is the home pro here at Aronimink from Philadelphia. Scott Kaler coming out of Pittsburgh, and Drew Broderick out of New Jersey. Dave, what do you think of this matchup? Should be fun.
Yeah, let's go around the horn a little bit. So for those looking at your screen, bottom right is Dan Hansen, lefty with a ton of spin. He's going to cut the ball. Very difficult to play against. His partner in the all black, Tomas Christian, who's a local legend here out of Aronimink Golf Club, works with you, JC, of course. And then on the far side, Drew Broderick in the green sweatshirt, lefty, legend in the game. I believe has won 4 national championships, I want to say.
Plus a mixed.
Lefty, just impossible to end the point against him. And then Scott Kaler in the grayish sweatshirt. Also just a big banger on the right-hand side.
I think we're seeing here a little bit of experience versus youth. 2 guys that have been in the game for a long time. 2 guys that are kind of maybe newer to the scene. Probably Tomas and Dan, out of all the players on the tour this year, have played the most paddle out of anybody. I know these 2 dudes personally. They've probably played paddle every single weekend of this season. So they're in top shape. So it should be an interesting matchup. Both new teams, they really haven't played together, I believe. Anton, thoughts on that? These guys haven't played together. What are you looking for when you're stepping onto the court as a new partnership? Are you talking game plan, strengths, weaknesses? What would you do if you were Tomas and Dan as the young bucks on the court?
Hello everybody. I would recommend them probably to start playing slow paddle, just to see. Also, it's a lefty-righty combo, so it's hard to figure out who is taking overheads first when they are at the net. So I would recommend them just to play slow paddle. Just don't go for too much offense. So just to go from there, and in couple games just to remake the plan or something. But I probably would have the plan to take the Dan overheads going to Kaler corner, but be careful with his high forehand drives. So let's go to tactic. He is also very good lobber and blitzer. So one match I played against him. He lobbed very well down the line and went behind his lob on a sneaky blitz. He's a tall guy, but he's like very quiet, like a cat on the court.
The big cat.
Big cat.
So both of these teams are lefty-righty combos, so they can attack either side. So if we're going against either of these teams, your preference to start off would be to attack Kaler if you were Tomas and Dan.
Yes.
What about the reverse side? Which side would you go after if you were attacking?
If I would create a plan for Drew and Scott, the plan would be Drew take overheads. I think he have a little bit better overhead because he's a smaller guy, the contact point a little bit lower, so it doesn't sit up, and also he have all tricky spins. So tactic would be also Drew would take all overheads going to the juice corner.
Sure, and Drew and Tomas have played a number of tournaments together, so Drew is very familiar with Tomas's game, so likely he's going to know certain places to maybe go after, having played with him
Yes.
numerous tournaments this year.
Yeah, yes, he probably does. Also, I played against them one tournament and they smoked me. I played with my buddy friend Anton Babitsky. We played semi-final match at Atlantics.
Here, Drew.
They
Are these on already? Because it's not. They're on. Okay.
They played 98% of the points from the back. They serve and stood back, both of them, and I was out of my mind. I couldn't finish the ball. Going to Drew and Thomas was solid like a rock. Ooh, nice first point.
15 love.
Tough first point there.
And here we go.
It will be interesting where they find offense from the back, Thomas and Dan.
Yep.
They probably have firepower in the middle. Both of their forehands are strength, but we'll see what happens.
And we'll see if your prediction is right about letting Drew hit most of the overheads.
Yep. Like I said, the Thomas very solid on the screens. I don't think we're gonna see much mistakes from him. And I don't know about Dan. We'll see.
And Tomas has historically probably played a lot of ad side, but when he plays tournaments with Drew, he plays the deuce side, so he's probably back in his comfort zone where he's played a lot of years on the ad side.
Yeah.
Oh, forced the error from Dan there.
Yeah. As we can see, right away, on point. Switching at the net right away, putting lefty on the deuce side. So both players have overhead in the middle. Both players. Teams just finding the tactic, probing all overheads. Don't really have a specific tactic going after one player.
Yep.
For now.
Probably trying to feel each other out,
yes,
since they really haven't been on the court together. I think for Tomas and Dan, like you said, Anton, the middle is probably their best bet at getting some offense. So they both got to try to find a way to find a forehand just to get those guys to volley, get them a little closer to the net. So it opens up their lob game a little bit better.
And Drew is obviously very strong at hitting overheads and not giving his opponents much to attack. He just missed one there, but he's obviously keeping them off balance thus far.
40-15.
Also, I wanted to mention Scott and Drew, probably one of their strengths. It's a net game. They excellent volleys, both of them. Scott likes to close the net. So do Drew likes to close the net. So it's hard to beat them with a drive. So Thomas and Thunder Dan has to do a good job with the lobbing and just moving the lob to find the openings for the drive. Otherwise, it's going to be tough, and probably they have to take the net off the third. We'll see how it's going to work for them.
And I'm just seeing now that we are not listing Dan Hansen's name. Instead, we are listing him as Thunder. So for those of you watching at home, Dan Hansen has been dubbed Thunder Dan Hansen by Drew Broderick.
Yeah, well, he told me I had the ride with him in the car this morning. He said it's somebody. He went to college in Philly, and his college buddy, started calling him Thunder. So all Philly community calls him Thunder. But I just heard that he's from Connecticut. So, nice.
What a cutter! Yep.
He's from Connecticut. Nobody calls him Thunder there. It's just Philly. But after today, definitely he's Thunder now.
So he missed one there, but you're starting to see his cutter. I mean, his cutter is very difficult to play against. I assume, Anton, when you played against him, I assume he just keeps you off balance with that cutter?
Oh, yes. Sometimes I see the lob coming, and then ball takes the shape of the egg after after it comes out of his paddle.
Yep. Wow, great lob.
Great lob.
Both Tomas and Dan played college tennis in Philly. Tomas out of La Salle University, Dan out of Drexel University. So I think they met each other in college. Not sure if they played against each other, but they have a little Philly connection there. Shout out to Mehdi Rizali, head coach of the Drexel Dragons. I believe his brother is an avid paddle player. Trying to get Mehdi still out there on the court.
So with this pro flight, the way it's structured is they have, I think, a $1,500 prize pool for every match. So these guys are obviously playing for money, but I got to think that Tomas and Dan really want to make a mark against Drew Broderick, a legend of the game. So I'm sure they're feeling the, a little more adrenaline going to try to, make a mark here in this match.
Definitely a little skin in the game.
Yep.
We have 1,500 per match. Match 1, obviously you're seeing it right here. Match 2, Drew and Tomas will be pairing up against Scott Kaler and Anton. Anton, did you start strategizing for that match you got coming up?
I am, yes. Especially, like I said, I lost to Tomas and Drew last time I played them, so
You're looking for some payback.
Looking for payback.
Okay.
So he's scouting right now, looking for weaknesses.
Yep. That's them doing.
40-50.
So, like we talked about with Drew, kind of legend of the game, Anton, he goes into those modes where he just says, I am not going to miss a shot no matter what. I'm just going to make one more ball than my opponent. How difficult is it to play against someone like him who he'll just decide there's no way I am missing a ball on this point?
Yes, it's extremely difficult to play against him, but the good, when I played, I think 7 matches against Drew, and I think I won twice and lost 5. But the hardest part about it, it just he always there. He never give you 3 points, but also he never really can crush you and finish the point himself. So it's always like mental battle where you're gonna go for more, or you just take extra ball, and then just decide which ball go for the cutters. I think I have a good offense at the net and in the back, so for me it's extremely difficult not to go for more with him. And if I become a little bit of balance, if I drive the wrong ball, he's take advantage immediately, and he's going with the volley behind me.
Yep.
So I know that, but so he knows that too. So it's just. Yeah, so they first match they controlling the net. Drew and Scott controlling the net well. The Dan and Tomas so far just playing mostly from the back.
Yeah, they're not really getting anything to attack from the baseline. Drew's keeping them really off balance with those cut overheads.
Like you mentioned, Anton, Drew's starting to take most of the overheads. Scott's falling, and there you have it.
Game Broderick.
Also one strength of Scott very good on hitting the nick.
So a little shout out to our supporters from today, PPAC Private and Veritex Legal Solutions.
So quick go lead here by Drew and Scott. Anton, what are the adjustments? Do we slow it down? Do we try to find a way to keep the net?
I would try to keep the net. Oh, definitely not miss serve.
Yeah.
Left 15.
Happens. Story of my life. Ooh, nice drive.
I've seen Dan play in a number of tournaments. I don't remember him using this kind of push serve. Is that new?
Yeah, that's something new he's doing it. when it works for him fine, he takes it very low, so it sits up low. So it's not really easy to drive, but
You were doing some of that, Anton, in Detroit, weren't you? Weren't you going to more of a push serve?
yes, I did, but it's I don't think it's much tactic. It's just because I get tired. But
Well,
well, my philosophy on it is just the teams I play with against, they're so good returners, and by going for the big serves, I just I feel like I can miss it, and I know that I'm not gonna make much damage to them going for the big serve. So I prefer to start point, maybe start little I formation with my partner, maybe serve and stay back and just get into the point and building up my points from there. Okay, so to the net. Let's see what their tactic at the net. I think they're going after Scott. Playing few matches against Dan, I found he's going for the cutters a little bit too much, especially when 1 foot of the service box he goes for the cutter. It's very risky cut.
Tomas went for the cut drop shot.
You think nerves could be playing a factor here in this quick start by Drew and Scott? Maybe the young guys a little nervous. Tomas in front of the home crowd. Dan maybe first pro fight appearance.
Probably, but I think for now they just don't know what to do, and they see how they're going for
15 left.
Then went not for his shot, stuff like this, and Scott and Drew just very settled, playing slow. Also, the worst thing you can do against Drew is go behind love 3 or love 4, because he's just not gonna give you any free points.
3 quick points here on Kaler's serve. Definitely cannot give away points that quickly to Drew Broderick.
Because he's not gonna give you points quick.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan and Tomas definitely need to slow it down.
He just find the read. Also those hard side back screens. I would ask my partner to have them, that it goes to the middle. But otherwise you're going to be up of balance, and then it's probably going to hit a not so good overlap.
We got there.
Nice, that's it.
Oh, they're scrambling. Oh,
there we go.
Kaler misses the cutter. Great point.
All right, good point. Let's see if they can put together a few of those points.
Oh boy. Oh wow.
Good anticipation.
That's amazing. Great get by Dan. That was a very good cutter by Drew.
Adjustment for Thomas and Dan could be they should go a little bit bigger for the return and try to put more pressure on the return of serve. Come out with a nick again.
Like you said, really good at hitting the nick. Tomas should be committing all the way to that side screen where Dan covers the middle. So we got a 5-0 lead here. First set for Broderick Kaler against Christian Hansen.
Yeah, so that last game, they gave away 3 quick points and then tried to battle back, but you just cannot give away points that quickly. So they've got to start grinding things out.
Yes, and also you never wanna go 6-0. At least try to play one game to slow it down, because
15 love.
otherwise, let's say now score is love all, love. You play one game, slow game, and then if it's 6-1, it's 1-1, and then you kind of in the game for the second set.
Yeah, build some momentum.
Build momentum back. Yep.
Yeah, I've found in a couple of situations where if I'm losing a 5
30
love or a 5-1, sometimes getting that one game just to make your opponents, feel a little more pressure, and you just start to get a rhythm. You shouldn't just give it away. I mean, certainly there's no reason to stop from building momentum, even if you're down 5 love. 'Cause this game can turn on a dime very quickly.
So unlike Dan and Tomas, who have the most offense in the middle, Drew and Scott probably have more offense on the wings. So I would recommend Dan and Tomas to explore the middle a little bit more with Carter,
40-15.
just to build up the points from the net through the middle. Drew is so good on the screens, it's like almost you don't want to go there because you get another amazing love.
Great ball by Dan.
Ball
Now they
Christian Hansen.
set them up perfectly. And they're in the mix. They got a game on the board.
on the board.
5-1.
Let's see if they can make it 2 in a row here. Great
Left
return
15.
by Hansen, forced the missed volley.
Yes, I think Scott called out on himself. Switch on the cutter. It's very risky, Drew.
So Tomas and Dan have a little bit of that momentum we were talking about going here. Let's see if they can break
Love
through
30.
serve.
On the other hand, it's also, this puzzle is so tricky. When you get a 5-0 lead, you feel like you got a set, but it's still important to close this set and to not give your opponent opportunity to come back in the game, which I think is actually happening now. And still Dan and Tomas
15-30.
have to lob a little bit better because Drew hits all his overhead with both feet standing inside the service box.
Agreed. He's going to beat you up all day if he's hitting short overheads.
Yes.
You got to push him back.
Yes. See how Dan uses only his wrist on the screen. That's why he loves a little bit short pressure on the forehand.
Yeah, I mean, look at where Drew's hitting every. Look at where Drew's hitting every overhead. It's close to the net.
2 feet
30
from
off.
the net. Yes. So adjustment would be just to use a little bit more feet and get down more on the screen for Dan.
Oh, great pitch. Wow. What a shot by Dan.
Great shot.
30-40.
All right, break point.
See how Dan puts pressure on his returner. So when Tomas is returning, he's taking a few steps in and just visually put pressure on the
We got it.
first ball. Oops, nice.
Great ball by Kaler.
They stay in the net. Another tactic could be used So if you feel like it's clearly Roderick going after Dan. If you feel it's happening, I would recommend Dan to start lobbing down the line. Just so Drew doesn't have the 10 going after his side screen. And every time he able to lob Scott changing direction right away to Tomas.
Yep.
So this way he releases the pressure out of his corner. Another short lobs. So nice to sit on the sideline and see all the short lobs when you're playing in that corner. You think you're doing all amazing. I've been too many times in that role, throwing the short lobs to my opponents.
Yeah, again, Drew just sitting inside the service line. They got to push him back.
Deuce.
Yeah, so another thing that I see that Dan spinning around and trying to hit with his forehand, mainly the side back screens. I would recommend him to go more to the middle and take it as a backhand.
Great move by Tomas, capturing the net with a great close.
Nice spin.
Oh, wow.
High around the post almost. 8 points.
Very nice cutter by Hansen.
Advantage, Christian Hansen.
All right, another crack at breaking Drew. Tomas with a big rip. Tomas has got to take that shot for sure.
For sure, but that's how they can set up their offense from the back. If Dan lobs down the line to Scott, that changes to Tomas, and then Tomas, you get to look for his forehand.
Yep.
That probably would be the best strategy from the back.
Great lob, there we go. They have Scott and Drew reversed right now. Let's see if they can take him advantage.
He's going into Drew, so I don't know if it would happen. I would prefer Tomas take it more overheads.
Yep, looks like they're trying to get that set up.
Yep. Blocked out.
Is this third deuce?
Third break point.
That's what I mean. Sorry.
Yep, let's see if they can convert it. Yes, then
I believe
needs
this is
to let it go, those ones.
second deuce. We're playing sudden death on this second deuce. I
Yeah,
believe.
that's where I was going with my question. I thought it was sudden
I
death
think-
after two deuces.
I think they might forget about
Yeah, I
it.
think they've forgotten about it. Exactly.
Let's see.
Yep, they've forgotten about it.
That did they forgot about it.
Advantage, Christian Hansen. Deuce.
Caught Dan trying to blitz, and he kind of got caught in no man's land there and missed the lob.
Yeah, if you're trying to blitz, go all the way or just stay back. Don't stop in no man's lane.
For club players out there, Anton, is there an ideal spot of where to come, where your partner returns when you're blitzing? Are you looking to come inside the service line? How close to the net are you looking to get?
Well, that would be contingent on how good of a return. If returner can get deep
Advantage,
ball
Roderick
down
Taylor.
to the feet, I would recommend the blitzer go all the way in the box. But if the volley guy takes the volley pretty
Deuce.
like at least hip levels, I wouldn't really blitz there.
So I think what he's saying is, if you're my partner you would blitz hard on my return of serve because I would, of course, crush the ball at my opponent's
Advantage,
feet.
Broderick, Kaler.
Yeah, so my philosophy is like for every offense, you need to have a good setup. Setup could be good drive, the deep and down to the feet, or it could be lob that keeps your balance. So I never look at the offense just one shot, just to blitz, or just to see how to set up that blitz, or how to set up the drive, or how to be offensive from the back.
Great move by Kaler, cutting off the volley, dropping it to end the set.
Set, Broderick, Kaler.
6-1, better set there towards the end for Christian Hansen. You know, for all the club players out there, this happens a lot. 6-1 first set, you start building some momentum. What are the main adjustments you think for the second set for these guys?
I think they found.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Is there a cough button if I ever have to like cough? Yeah.
I'm good.
He's doing great.
You guys run like 5 deuces.
I gave you the ball. Second set, Christian Hansen to serve.
Second set here. Broderick Kaler took the first set 6-1. Quick set. Christian Hansen built a little bit of momentum then towards the end of that first set. Last game went pretty long, a couple of deuces here and there. They had a couple chances. So, Anton, if you're Tomas and Dan,
15 love.
what are your adjustments here? I think probably number one, higher lobs, better lobs.
Better lobs if they on the back. No, number one adjustment, just try to take the net, maybe throw.
Ooh, leg court by Drew.
Try to start some
15
high
off.
formation, just to get into the net, get into the point. And then when you're at the net, so you see how Scott loves it, then.
Oh wow, what a cutter by Dan,
That's
just
a nice cut.
right into the body of Drew.
30-15.
Yeah, just take the net and building up points from the net.
Yeah,
And
see. Oh, go ahead, Anton.
And if you're the backcourt team, just to lob more, lob hook that court. Yep,
They owed him one.
yes, you never get the
40,
red court
15.
if you never drive. So That's why he drove.
Great opportunity for Dan and Tomas to jump out to an early lead here after the first set. It seems like Dan and Tomas have gotten a little more rhythm going, and Dan is just cutting the ball into Kaler's backhand a lot, and there they go with the cutter for the winner.
Christian Hansen.
So they seem to be finding a groove, JC, don't you think? A little bit?
I agree. Just like Anton said, they're up 1-0, right? I think it's a new set, fresh slate. They're looking to bring a little momentum, hopefully get to a pro flight breaker.
Love one.
Anything can go if you get to that breaker in the third set.
Yeah, so just to comment on that, the third set is not a traditional set. It would be a super pro flight breaker, which is first to 15, sudden death at 14 all.
Little switch in the back by Tomas and Dan. I like it. Putting their weapons on the outside.
Yes, I think like you guys mentioned, Drew knows Tomas. Tomas knows Drew too.
Yeah.
Probably they practice in one-on-one, so Tomas seen a lot of Drew's cards.
It's a great point. So it looks like Drew and Scott are immediately adjusting by going down the middle with a lot of soft cutters. And we'll see if Tomas and Dan get any balls on the wires that they can attack with their forehands.
Yeah, I think so far the short lap by Dan killing them from the back. Tomas is doing very nice lap, and Dan just using only his wrist to throw the lap down, not using really shoulder and the legs to have the ball go higher. So that's way too short.
15 love.
How steady Drew and Scott are. They don't give anything away. And it's name of the game of paddle, don't make mistakes.
For sure. Yeah, so Scott and Drew are just attacking that middle, giving Tomas and Dan nothing to really attack right now. And then when they get an opportunity, attacking the wires, but it's mostly just soft down the middle with cuts. Good hands by Scott.
Watch the movement at the net. They're staying back if they hit a good overhead, if they close, if there's a threat of a drive coming. A little force there by Dan.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the, I mean, you just feel like you've got nothing to attack, and you go attack a ball that maybe you shouldn't because you're just getting nothing to really go after. That's, I mean, Scott and Drew are a great ball on the nick.
40 love.
Nick number 5, I guess, by Scott.
Good lob. Forced a
40,
awkward
15.
backhand overhead.
Game, Broderick, Kaler.
1-0.
Another shout out to our sponsors, PPAC Private and Veritex Legal
1-0.
Solutions.
So far in this match, whoever take the net,
The high forehand you mentioned.
Kaler just painted the baseline with it.
nice touch by Drew.
Love 15.
rare mistake by Drew there.
15
Yeah,
all.
well, I noticed he cheated over more on that point. I think he's sensing that they're getting a little rhythm by going soft into Kaler's backhand, so he was trying to cut some balls off and get a little more offensive. A great lob by Drew. Forced Dan to go for a tight corner
15,
there.
30.
Great return by Drew.
15, 40.
So I still think they have to go more through the middle, and less when they adjusted the net, and then they get in balance, and then maybe they can go for the corners. But before that, just few more reset overheads. Oh, that's too much for Drew.
I think that reset
30-40.
overhead down the middle, maybe to Scott's back, and it was going to earn them the short lob that then either Dan and Tomas can go for a little bit extra, a little bit closer to the net. I think Dan's maybe forcing the subject a little bit too much from too far back.
Well, I think he sensed that Drew was starting to come over more, and he tried to do a little bit more with his overhead and forced a couple of errors out of Dan. So he's just got to trust.
See how Drew and Scott just go through the middle just to settle the point, but it's also they're going through the middle because Dan and Tomas have more offense on the wings in this setup when Tomas is on the juice court and Dan on the ad court.
Anton, so many Euro Club Pro. I think, not sure if you can relate, but I feel at the club level, players don't really utilize the middle ball too much in the overheads. They're too concerned about getting the balls over to the corner, to the wires, which a lot of times it ends up getting them in trouble. Not only, like you said, it's a safe spot, but I think it also puts them in a better position to volley because there's not many angles on the court. That middle reset overhead is so important at any level, I believe.
That's very important. Yes, that's what I spend most time on the court teaching, just to tell them go to the middle, and sometimes they can do it, sometimes they just too eager to go for the corners, and they just miss a day of balance or something, and they just go for too much and miss it. Sometimes I tell them also, do you want to win or do you want to have just have fun? And they sometimes like, oh no, we want to win. And, all right, go to the middle.
So we're 2-1 with Broderick Kaler. I would say a big game here for Tomas and Dan. They do not want to go down 3-1. I feel like they're on the downside of a momentum swing.
I feel like they isolated Dan on the juice, so he feels like he doesn't have an offense from the back. So he's trying to go for a little bit too much, and Tomas looks very comfortable on his side. He lobs well, doesn't give much mistakes.
So you can see Scott and Drew, just everything is mostly soft down the middle, and then when they get a short lob, attacking the wires.
Yep.
I mean, even when Dan and Tomas are getting a forehand to drive, it's typically a little bit off balance, so they're not really able to get their full weight behind it. Oh, great lob.
Good lob.
Wow. Amazing cutter by hand. Great overhead, and then the
15-all.
cutter to end the point.
Yeah, you don't want to give him opportunity to cut at all.
That was Thunder Dan right there.
Thunder Dan,
We need more of that.
living up to
Thunder.
his name. Oh, and a great return there. All of a sudden, this game, big opportunity here for
15-30.
Tomas and Dan. Oh, wow. That's
Great.
lack of experience playing together where they both went for the same ball.
30 all.
Yes, Dan needs to trust Tomas. Put more and guard his corner.
I missed it. All right, break
Break
point to get to
30
2 all. Here we go. This is a game changer. You missed it. 2 all.
Game, Christian Hansen.
Let's see if
2 all.
they can put 2 games together. Yes, I can see now his
15 left.
serve stays very low.
Yep.
It's so hard to drive.
Thirty love lead.
30 left.
2-all, second set.
Let's see if Dan can go to work.
Another tip I would tell them they go
Here it comes.
Oh, wow. Great blitz.
blitz.
Oh,
That play.
smart move by Kaler.
First one of the match.
first one, but like I mentioned, he does it so quietly.
Right.
You really cannot see him doing it. If your partner didn't call it, you have no chance to recognize it. But what I wanted to say, if they go in too much right, left, and Thomas take the overhead, goes to Drew, I would recommend them just to go one more shot through the middle if you want to change direction. So overhead to the middle and then go for the corner. Don't change it from one side wire to another side wire.
Yeah, because that forces a lot of movement and opens yourselves up to being attacked by a drive, I assume, is what you're...
That's what I'm referring to,
Yep.
yes. Oh, if he goes like this to the side back, you have enough time to shift. But if he's not gonna find the side screen, the player can cut it off and just keep them in position. Whoa!
Wow,
what
what
a
what a shot.
We need
Hansen
that
wanted
one
that.
on the replay.
40-15.
Incredible. All right, chance to go up 3-2 here. Great shot by Dan.
He's being a little bit more selective now with his overheads. Only going for big stuff when he's inside the service line, when his feet are set.
And it seems like he's trusting. Initially, I thought he was a little afraid to go to Kaler's forehand, but now he's okay going to the body kind of side of Kaler, and then just setting up for the big cutters when he gets a short lob. There we go.
Game, Christian Hansen.
3-2 lead for the boys.
Yeah. The youngsters.
Youngsters come out with a good tactic and putting good points together. And
Two, three.
All right, 2-3 with Broderick serving.
Switch again.
Tomas with a big rip. That's what they need. Got the net.
yes, Tomas playing very solid.
I missed that cutter, but that was,
I think it's a good try.
yeah, good try.
You had it.
He set him up, got a
15
relatively short lob.
Scott almost got a nick there. I think they
Sun
can-
could start playing a factor here soon. Far side for Dan and Tomas.
Yes, I was going to ask you about obviously, JC being the head pro here, I was going to ask you about the sun, if that's going to start being an issue mid-afternoon.
2 to 5 p.m. Stuff on that side. We're hoping for some cloud coverage.
Okay.
As you can see, the second court's nice and shady, but court 1 is nice and sunny. So you'll see guys adjusting. All these guys are professionals. They'll find a way to deal with it.
That's right. So far in this set, every team lose every game on the sunny side.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. I wonder if it's a factor. Nice long points.
Yep. Hansen with the rip down the middle. And the miss. Ah, great. They were patient, waited for the right ball to attack, and then got one so that they could take the net and force the error.
As you see, they settled down very nice in the second set.
Considerably. And again, the switch in the backcourt.
Two-hander.
Great. Oh, I missed it.
Die by
30
Drew.
15.
Okay, that Drew is behind. He's super settled. Doesn't go for much. That's what great players do. They just don't give you anything.
Dan
See how
try-
he, see
Yep.
how he shifted right in the middle to shut down the drive through the middle. Now Scott does the same thing. They get beaten by one shot in the middle. Now they made the great adjustment. They just adjusted for two similar balls.
That was a good cutoff by Scott on that volley.
40 15.
All right, so a chance to bring this back to 3-all.
40 30.
Rare serve mistake by Drew.
Yeah, very rare. Great return by
Good
Tomas. Here we go. There's an
Deuce.
opportunity here.
He again looking for the nick.
And they got a lob deeper.
Another adjustment I would make in the middle, I would ask Tomas take more lobs from the middle
With his backhand.
with his backhand.
Any
Did
reason
that
in
one.
any reason in particular, Anton?
The reason is it look like Tomas have better day with the lobs. And then
Oh, wow.
Oh. Did Did not see it coming of the side back.
The fans here, I think, are very pro Tomas, and they were, I think, happy to see that shot.
Crowd loves
Advantage,
it.
Christian
Crowd
Hansen.
loves it. All right, this is a huge point here for Tomas and Dan.
Switch is on.
Did he just get the let?
Get the lead.
Splits.
Oh, man, Dan, what a freaking play.
4-2.
Game, Christian
Great
Hansen.
play by Zlander.
Great hands up at the net. And he just kept moving in until he eventually went downhill. So here we go. This is their chance.
4-2.
4-2.
And Dan hits Drew this time. Back-to-back.
I think 3 times in a
15
row.
left.
Yeah, Tomas hit Scott, and then they had back-to-back volleys where they hit their opponents. So that seems to be their strategy.
Let's see if they can do 4th rod.
Yep.
Great card.
So is it just me, or is Dan really starting to find his rhythm
30
a
left.
lot more, and he's getting much more comfortable hitting the cut overheads and the cut drop shot, and really finding his groove now?
Yeah, I think that's it. He's settled down and he warmed up. He's feeling hot now.
Yeah, he's keeping the opponents off balance.
Definitely. But I think Scott recognized that he's lobbing a little bit too short too. So now his lobs get a little bit higher. And then went
30,
punch
15.
this one.
Thirty all.
All right, big 30 all here. Wow.
Great hands. And I like when he's mixing up the roller in the mix. Because when you're doing only cards, the opponent get used to it and they get settled to your pace and get used to the screen to defend the cutters. But if you get roller in the mix,
Little wide
So-
here.
40-30.
Game point.
And on that one, he gave a shorter overhead, so it just keeps keeping your opponent off balance. Oh wow! And there's the
Game,
great serve.
Christian Hansen.
Nick serve. 5-2 lead. Christian Hansen, second set. Broderick Kaler took the first set 6-1. Tomas and Dan with a little momentum here. We could be seeing a pro flight breaker here, boys.
That would be pretty exciting.
2-5.
let's see if they can turn around in this set.
Yeah, I mean it's a that 5-2 lead can evaporate in a heartbeat, especially since the serving team seems to be having an advantage.
115.
I think now Drew and Scott, the ones who's supposed to slow down the pace now a little bit. Finally. Great defense of cut overheads by Dan. Nice lobs. long points. I think long points favor Drew and Scott right now. They're behind.
Agreed. And every time Drew gets in a tough spot, he's trying to dump it soft down the middle. Wow. Dan, again, moving in, putting pressure on his opponents.
Lando Dan. Now I start feeling his nickname. Yes, Tomas playing with Drew. I think he learned some wisdoms from Drew. Just very steady. Doesn't miss, doesn't give you short lobs.
$15.30.
Open stance drive of the screen.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to take that shot, but maybe just didn't execute it.
15.40.
30? Oh, 15.40.
Double set point here, guys.
Set point.
Wow, great cutter. Oh, Dan dug it out.
Did it.
Tomas is lobbing better. You can see Drew's hitting his overheads from further in the court. And then they got the net. Here we go.
Great cutter.
Yep, they're just firing cutters.
They're feeling it.
Good waterfall right there.
That's set for the guys.
Wow.
Got a pro flight breaker
Yep.
on our way after commercial.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand.
So we're back in the third set here, and this is going to be a pro flight breaker, first to 15 and sudden death at 14. So a rare treat here. So JC, now let's reverse it, because Tomas and Dan got into a groove there. If you're Drew and Scott, what are you doing to change things up and get the momentum back?
I think Tomas was extremely steady, no mistakes. Dan kind of settled down. got locked in, started making better decisions. I think if you're Scott and Drew, you're embracing the long points. You're trying to create mistakes just like that. Higher lobs, picking and choosing your drives. And then from the net, if Tomas and Dan continue to make the switch in the bag, I think you work the middle, and then looking for some shorter lobs to make some a little bit more offensive overheads.
Are you throwing out any predictions here for this third set?
I'm gonna shoot for the 14-all sudden death point.
Love it.
We had one last year in the finals of Pro Fight right here at Aronimink, the first one ever.
Yes, we won't talk about how it ended, but that was very exciting.
Very exciting match. We got 1-0 Broderick Killer here, third set Pro Flight Breaker. First to 15, sudden death at 14-all.
Yeah, so if I'm Tomas and Dan, it's important that, they built a lot of momentum. They were smart and patient. They hit deep lobs. It's important not to get away from that, to stay back to, continue with the basics of hitting deep lobs and then attacking when they get the opportunity.
I agree. Their best offense from the back was of those deep lobs. But they were able to make Scott and Drew pick who volleys, right? You want to, as a lefty-righty team, you want to drive down the middle of the court. Forehand volleys are there.
And Drew, obviously, being the pro and the veteran that he is going to make Tomas and Dan earn everything in this breaker.
That's right. That last point, we got the short lob, one for the cutter.
So for the viewers watching at home, we lost Anton. He's getting ready to play in the next match. So JC and I are going to bring this match home.
Great thing about the format is Tomas and Drew are playing against each other right now. They're going to pair up in the next match against Scott and Anton, who are playing together right now.
Love 3.
And just a reminder that the winner of the match gets $1,500. So it's they're both teams are playing for prize money, and obviously Dan and Tomas certainly want to leave their mark and make a big statement against Scott and Drew.
1-3.
Tomas and Dan on the board. 4 quick points here.
Four serving 1.
Yeah, Tomas and Dan have to, again, do what they did in the second to slow it down here. They've kind of let Drew and Scott get some quick points to get to a quick lead.
4-2.
2 faults here in a row.
Wow.
3 faults in a row.
That's a rare sight at this level of paddle.
3-4.
Back on serve.
4-all.
44.
Help, help. Help. Help, I'm here. You.
Comes the sun.
You. Help. You.
Dave, the switch has worked really well for Tomas and Dan. Tomas is extremely comfortable on the deuce. He's bringing offense. Dan also seems extremely comfortable, pinching over to the middle, bringing his forehand. He's been blitzing a bit.
It has been for sure a turnaround in the match since they made that switch. As long as they're patient enough to continue lobbing when it goes down the middle, which they've been doing, and like I said, Tomas I think has been hitting the better lobs, and I know Anton pointed that out too. But then they're just getting forehands to attack, and it's making a big difference on the wings. You can see every time Drew and Scott get into a tough lob, they're just dumping it down the middle. There you go. That's the ball you got to attack. Then they force the error.
Deep. Perfect.
Great rip by Tomas.
Switch, yeah. 4-5.
All right, 4 serving 5. So, JC, if you're Dan and Tomas and you're lobbing, where are you trying to lob?
Ideally, I'm looking to make him fight for the overhead, create a little confusion, create some movement.
So, Drew is going to take the majority of the overhead. So I assume the lob then is more towards Kaler to a position where Drew tries to go get it and Scott thinks it's his ball too.
Absolutely. It will hopefully create some indecision between both players. Hopefully they get the short ball, catch him out of position, force a mistake. These guys are so good at hitting overheads though, so good. They put them in great spots. So when that opportunity arises, you need to be ready for it. So you can see every point's 20, 30, 40 balls. It's almost like they're playing the point within the point. There it goes, forces the drive.
Dan got a couple tomahawks on that, but couldn't quite execute on that last one. 5-all.
Rare volley miss by Drew.
Rare miss, but Tomas put the
6-5.
pressure on. He kept kind of making Drew hit quick volleys and forced a miss.
Six-all.
Smart.
I mean, you can just, the lobs are just so much better from Tomas and Dan. You see their opponents are at least having to back up a little bit when hitting overheads, which they were not having to do in that first set.
Anton mentioned their feet being inside the service, and I watch how they're being pushed back. For the viewers at home, watch Drew and Scott. Every time their feet are backing up or on the service line behind it, they make the smart decision, go for something safer. They're inside the service line. Feet are set. They're balanced. They're taking something more offensive.
Yeah, knowing Broderick before the match, he looked at his opponents and said, where is my safest shot? And when I get a tough overhead, this is where I'm going to go with the ball.
Force the offense there then.
Yep.
Found a forehand.
7-6. Switch it.
Back and forth battle here in the third set.
I can't get you to give me a prediction, huh, on this third set breaker?
I think I'm biased, Dave. I'm rooting for the boys.
I know.
Philly boys.
I am also biased.
My guy Tomas. I do love Drew and Scott, but
Oh, I just missed.
8-6.
gotta root for the underdog at times, you know.
That's right. A couple huge forehands from. Oh, there you go. They got the net. Now Dan's going to try to go to work. Oh, wow.
Scott and Drew with the switch outs on the back. Will they stay? Looks like they are.
They are. And, you know, Dan and Tomas, I'm sure, are going to look for that right ball to attack. So Dan is just continuing to work it down the middle, not give him anything to attack, and wait for an overhead that he can attack. But nothing's happened. Nothing's coming yet of it. Wow, great hands. Great lob by Kaler. And they forced the miss.
7-8.
Tomas and Dan just grinded that point out.
No, 7-8. 7-8.
What do you think about Kaler not trying to drive Dan's serve? I mean, Dan's obviously not putting anything on it. Kaler's got a big forehand.
I think at this point of the match,
I mean,
not
obviously
work
not.
the wrist.
Yeah, not at this point, but he's been doing it all match. I'm surprised he hasn't been trying to attack it.
I think let's just get the point started, play the point, no worth risk of missing the return. I don't think he's forced any mistakes of the first volley, so it's virtually the same thing as him driving.
Yep.
Seven, 9.
Felt the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, hit a decent drop shot, but Drew was all over it. He's got the speed and made Dan hit a somewhat tricky volley. So Dan's going to try to attack Scott's backhand again with cutters, rollers, and not give Scott anything to attack. At least that's the goal. Awesome
Transition.
10-7.
Yeah, Drew and Scott waited. I mean, they just sat back there. They're like, we're not going to miss.
10-7.
Great point. 3-point lead here by Drew and Scott. You hear Drew telling Scott, stay patient. Feel Tomas and Dan are getting just a bit antsy.
I agree. They're getting a little antsy.
You can tell even by the way they're talking to each other.
They're getting antsy, and Drew and Scott are also
there. It is, right? Blitzing.
Yep, exactly.
7-12.
Drew and Scott. I think they've had the same demeanor throughout the whole match. Haven't hit the panic button.
Nope.
They won the first set pretty easily. Lost the second 6-2, but still same demeanor, playing the same speed.
And just
there you go.
7-13.
Not making mistakes, and Dan and Tomas are making a few too many right now. Great rip by Drew.
$14-7.
So we got a couple of match points here for Drew and Scott.
Yeah, they're Tomas and Dan are just making a few too many mistakes, and now
Probably 7-8 points in a row. I think they started playing a little quick.
Yep.
Scott and Drew, veterans, they just play slow and steady.
And in total control right now.
Picking their spots.
That's it.
And that is match.
Match.
Great match.
Water
Great
clear.
turnaround by Tomas and Dan.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
After losing the first set. They both play great. Drew and Scott,
Yeah.
they were able to get in tune in that third set breaker. Awesome win by them.
For sure.
So next match, we have Broderick Christian versus Kaylor Protsenko. We should be back live in the next 15 minutes. So tune in.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.